Hey there, Tilray traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Tuesday, March 25th. I bet you there is some frustrated people, I guess is the word today. And the news just came out. This is breaking news. You're probably just hearing about it for the first time here. Tilray Brands has officially received the warning from the Nasdaq, the minimum bid price rule. So we're going to be discussing that. A lot of people worried about a reverse split, so I'll discuss what we can expect now. So now what? Is there a reverse split incoming? I'll give my thoughts and opinions on this, and we'll discuss all of that and more. Before we do, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You've been notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Full disclosure, I do own Tilray. It's my largest MJ portfolio holding. But again, never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And speaking of X, I did run a poll on YouTube as well. So if you go over here and go to posts, you can see that we actually did come in with Tilray as the leader. I said, what content would you like to see more from Pow? And Tilray Brands #1, and even on X as well, it was #1, even higher trending on X. That was on 117 votes, and on YouTube, it was 196 votes. So King Tilray continues to lead the charge here. I just posted this video not too long ago. Tilray Brands relaunching Highball energy drinks across Whole Foods, which is the subsidiary of Amazon. And also, since they took over Highball, I think it was 6 months ago, it's been trending very, very much so on Amazon.com. So the sales are up 68%. We're seeing 68% growth on Amazon. And that's just e-commerce, right? So we'll see what happens here with regards to Whole Foods. But this, in my opinion, is a huge underrated segment of their business. And it's going to be very well positioned adjacently speaking whenever we do see full-blown legalization in the US, right? Highball, Sweetwater, 420, all of that good stuff. So here was the news of the day. If you go to investors and then go to news, go down to SEC filings as well. This was the latest one from today, March 25th. Click on View HTML. It'll bring up this Form 8K. And then if you scroll down, notice of delisting or failure to satisfy a continued listing rule or standard transfer of listing. So on March 25th, 2025, Tilray Brands received a written notice, and I discussed this in my live stream earlier today, and it was kind of funny that it came out, but it notified the company that it is no longer in compliance with the minimum bid price requirement set forth in the Nasdaq listing rule 5450A1 for continued listing on the Nasdaq Global Select Market. Nasdaq listing rule requires listed securities maintain a minimum bid price of $1 per share. And the reason why we're not seeing this with a lot of the US MSOs is because they're not listed on US major exchanges. They're not on the Nasdaq, simple as that. Cureleaf was well under $1. It would be playing with the same fate, right? It would be suffering the same fate if it was on the Nasdaq. But that's one reason why the MSO gang is continually pumping MSOs, is because they don't have to deal with that. But they will eventually, don't worry. Believe you me, it will plague them as well eventually. This provides that a failure to meet the minimum bid price requirement, so essentially 30 days below $1. The notice does not impact the listing of the company's common stock at this time. In accordance, they have 180 calendar days to regain compliance. So I mentioned this in my previous live stream today. Don't freak out. There's going to be FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt from this, though, where the talking heads, the mainstream media, they're going to use this as a way to make retail sell. And it's no coincidence that we're at the bottom of this bear market, in my opinion, and we're at all-time lows. This is generally something that comes out when you're looking for a bottom. So in my opinion, we could see, we could be down 10, maybe even 20% tomorrow when the market does open, as this came after market close. So this will probably rattle the market. A lot of people just aren't aware. If you've been, following my videos, and if you're, somebody who keeps up to tabs with things, then this is just expected. We knew this was happening. We already started the counter in Power Group Private Community like weeks ago, right? So essentially, this will be FUD, but I don't think it's the end of the world. They have 180 days. So that's the equivalent of 6 months. And if you recall, Village Farms International was granted a 180-day extension to meet the Nasdaq minimum bid price requirement. So effectively, they have 180 days plus another potential 180-day extension. So do the math. That's a whole year that they have essentially to regain compliance without having to do a reverse split before they're forced to. So if they don't do it, and the 180 days goes, or they don't get an extension, or they get an extension and it's another 180 days, if they don't do it by then and they're still under $1, then they could be delisted. But they could just do a reverse split and then be back up. Like, look at Aurora, for example. Everybody was, raging about how amazing their earnings were last quarter. Stock shot up like crazy. But again, fundamentals don't matter. If the whole sector's bearish, it gave the whole move back. It was basically a mountain pattern, right? Peak and then all the way back down again. So Aurora did a 1 for 12 and then a 1 for 10. So it did two, right? Canopy did a 1 for 10. Pretty much all major names in the space have done it. And even High Tide did a reverse split. Most people don't know that. But Village Farms, if we take a look at the chart, I didn't have it up here, but it is well below $1 still. So it's actually, I think it has until April 16th to regain compliance, and it's at 63 cents and dropping to lower lows, no end in sight. So I would say Village Farms is very much at risk of a reverse split. I don't think they're going to delist or anything like that. But again, it's basically a whole year before Tilray is absolutely forced to do this. And we'll just have to monitor it. In my opinion, it's not the end of the world. And I think this is going to be an opportunity to continue to buy lower. I've been very patient. I've been saying that I've been just nibbling here and there on MJ. My largest MJ portfolio holding is Tilray, but my entire MJ portfolio is worth less than my biggest crypto holding, right? My biggest crypto holding is XRP. And I mentioned it in this poll. And like I said, XRP is worth more than every other crypto in my portfolio, and XRP is worth more than my entire MJ portfolio combined. My XRP position is actually worth more than my entire rest of my crypto portfolio and my entire MJ portfolio combined. So that kind of puts things into perspective for you, right? One's in a 5-year bear market and one's in a 5-year bull market. So I'm going to be focusing on crypto, the one that is in a 5-year bull market, and then I'm going to be rotating my profits more than likely over the next couple of months into more beaten down MJ. And the fact that we have VFF with a reverse split looming, the fact that we have the FUD now with Tilray Brands in the reverse split, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Even if they do a reverse split, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, reverse splits are not good. They're 90%, 95% bad, but there is some good. You maintain your Nasdaq listing, you have less shares, and it's more appealing to institutional investors when your share price is higher. So those are three main reasons to kind of look at the pros, but it's definitely bad, right? We would rather do a regular stock split where shares go up and price go down, right? And then that way the pie gets bigger, but it's perceived as, it's just an accounting trick, right? Just like they do. So when they do all these splits and stuff like that on tech stocks, they're usually at all-time highs. So think about it. If Amazon gets too expensive, it's $1,000, $2,000. Well, the average Joe and Jane aren't going to be able to afford it. And now there's fractionalized ownership of stocks, so it's getting easier. So you probably won't see as much reverse splits in the future, or sorry, regular stock splits. But the reverse split's just the flip side of that. Instead of share price go down and shares go up, shares go down and price goes up, right? So it's just a way for them to manipulate the market as they always do, and to protect their investments and to protect companies without them getting delisted from U.S. major exchanges. And there's a reason why Tilray is the leader in the space, is because it's listed on a U.S. major exchange. In one day, Tilray had, I think it was $2.2 billion with a B traded just on the Nasdaq alone. That's not factoring in the other exchanges like the Canadian exchanges and other exchanges. So you have to remember that Tilray is the head honcho in terms of volume in this space. Aurora, I guess, had some pretty decent volume, Canopy, but no one even came close to the amount that Tilray saw. And in my opinion, I don't think there's anything to worry about. We saw this coming from a mile away in the Power private community, where we literally had a counter on it once we dropped below $1. And again, this is the benefit of being in a community and understanding how the game is played, right? This is just a tactic, in my opinion, to make retail sell the bottom. There's going to be a lot of peed off people today and tomorrow, and don't be surprised if we are down over double digits tomorrow. But again, I'm not worried. It's at least a year before they're forced to do it. Could they do it? Absolutely. I would say it's about a 50-50 chance that they do. But I also think that there's a very serious chance that they can organically just get above $1 with the amount of time that they have allotted to do so, right? There's probably the first 100 days with the new administration, right? They're probably going to say something about MJ over, it's been about, a couple months now. So in the next couple months, we should see something with regards to MJ. And I've been a big believer saying for a while now, multiple years, that once crypto, big tech, AI finishes its bull market and goes into a bear market, which I believe is very close, like months away, if not by the end of 2025 and sometime in 2026, MJ is probably going to benefit from that rotational play and go on to become one of the, if not the best performing sector over the coming years, alongside, psychedelic and biotech. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with Power Group. Once again, thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll catch you on the next video.